Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, how are you guys doing? How is your week going? I hope it is well. I hope it is tremendous. And I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of this little family. And we have met a tremendous amount of amazing people out there. We have met the people of our Creator, the people who are loyal to His ways, to His walk, to the remnant path. And this remnant path it's a beautiful thing. I don't understand why the world rejects the laws of our Creator in such a vehement fashion. A religious system of people that are supposed to love God with all of their heart, with all of their mind, with all of their soul. And they will clearly say that they do such that. But when it comes to His laws, they reject them. They don't find any sort of value for them and their lives, and they won't even listen to them. And in a cult, any cult, it all comes down to brainwashing. It comes down to programming. And we live in a tremendous world of cults, in a place where there are endless things that people try to get people to believe, and a lot of them aren't true. A lot of the things that we believe that we should believe have been told to us from a young age. And so trying to break through the iron rock, ironclad minds that people have set up and the defenses they set up, it's sometimes very, very hard. And on this channel, we are the people that love our Creator. We love all of His words. We love all of His scriptures. We love everything. I am so grateful to our Creator that He has allowed us a chance that we can serve Him. It's just a fascinating world that we live in, with the fascinating creations all around us. And everything of this world is of value if we're walking the righteous path. Now, as we try to figure out what the righteous path is, most of us don't even know what iniquity is or what the word means. Well, iniquity is sin. Well, how do we figure out what sin is? Well, sin is the discretion of the law. It's walking opposite, contrary to what our Creator has told us to walk. And when you have nailed the laws of our Creator to the cross, when you believe Paul more than the words of our Creator and the words of Moshe and the words of all the prophets prior to Paul, and you have freed yourself from a beautiful set of laws, it's going to fall on you. And I would like to encourage everybody out there that there is a better part of this world. And the world that we live in is a grubby, nasty, disgusting world. It's full of a whole bunch of evil people that are doing a whole bunch of evil things as they slow kill the entire world away. And we have an opportunity to give ourselves a chance at eternity. And this eternity walk isn't paved with good intentions. It's paved with obedience to our Creator. And we either have obedience or we have disobedience. And there's no other way, there's no other path. And so as we figure out how to obey our Creator, how to walk His ways, it's an easy thing to understand when you read your scriptures. But there's a big mystery to it when we don't read our scriptures. And so, guys, I would like to encourage all of you guys to read your scriptures every single day. We at Yah Scriptures are a prison ministry. We at Yah Scriptures are a group of people that thought we could do much better when it comes to putting out a scriptures. And I believe after having years of now with this big blue book that you see in front of you, I believe that we have accomplished that task. And as I was telling a brother yesterday, Yah Scriptures never became what it set out to become. all I was trying to do to begin with was come up with a reading ability that I could read with all of you guys on these various platforms on the internet and read scriptures. And we went through the Sefer, and the Sefer is one of the most corrupt versions of scriptures there ever is. People are like adamant about the king. Well, the king doesn't even have the name of our creator in it. It doesn't have the name of his son. It has some guy named Jesus. So that's out. Sefer's out. We came to find out that the Hallelujah Scriptures is a criminal enterprise, and they don't serve Yah. They serve Mammon, and they get very, very rich. And so we had no thing that we could throw out there that we could even read with you guys on. And when we tried to give the Hallelujah Scriptures away for free, they came at us. Their free for distribution version that's free for all, they sent the law after us. They sent and they hired a whole bunch of people to take us out, and there was a massive war because we were trying to give the scriptures away for free. So how did we solve this? Well, we rebuilt the entire scriptures, word for word, jot for jot, tittle for tittle, and we went very slowly, very meticulously, and we took a couple of years off. And we had a group of people that were helping us proofread, me and my family, and all of us together. We spent hundreds, thousands, and thousands of hours over the course of a couple of years putting the scriptures together. And what you see right before you is the greatest English translation I believe you will ever find anywhere. And it has all of the Apocrypha in it. It has all of the hidden books. What you see right before you is 103 books. It's 14.5 font. It's large print. This means we can read and read and read, and the outside binding is extremely strong. It is something that we've had people that are off grid, that live in tents, and they sit and they have 25, 30 pencils in this thing. They put pencils all up in there, bookmark their page. We see people mark it up. We see wear and tear on this, and I've never seen this come apart as far as the binding goes. So Yah has blessed us and all of us with a version of scriptures that is, it's beautiful and it's available. We have about 500 of these left. They are a limited edition print. And so if you are wanting to get your big blue, and we're hoping that we can reprint another big blue, but all of this is in the hands of our creator. We don't know what the future will bring. And so when I say limited edition print, you will never find another one of these out there. They don't exist. And so you have the name of our creator, you have the name of our Messiah, and you have Big Blue, and it is available. Now, you don't actually have to pay for Big Blue because you can get one of our free versions of it. And this is the Android version of it right here. And this is free of charge. If you go to any of your Play stores, whether you're Apple or whether you're Android, and type in Yah Scriptures, 2 words, YAHSCRIPTURES, Yah Scriptures. And it will take you to this. And inside of this is all 103 beautiful books that are out there. And these 103 books are the books of truth. They are the books of a covenant people. And this has become so popular that the digital versions have outdone the Big Blue, which I am so ecstatic for. Because we're not here to sell scriptures. We are here to show people the way of the kingdom. And inside of this, the Big Blue app, is the Torah commands. And these Torah commands, if you look at these every single day and just read through them, you will be completing the commands that we are told that we need to talk about these when we get up. We need to recite them, and we need to make them part of our lives and press them up on our children. And so you can complete the commands simply by reading the commands and learning them, writing them on your heart, mind, and soul. When we guard the covenants, laws, statutes, and commandments, that's what this is all about. And so it is a beautiful path. It is a beautiful way forward. And what we're about to get into is we are getting into the book of Enoch right now. And the book of Enoch, you don't have to get recapped into this because we have been through chapters 1 through 60, and I am going to give you the Cliff Notes version. I'm going to get you guys caught up on this so that you do not have to jump into another version. You don't have to go into any of the other readings, although we have gone through quite a few just in the book of Enoch alone. But the book of Enoch was previously known as the Ethiopic book of Enoch. It's a collection of apocalyptic revelations, and it's been attributed to Enoch. And Enoch, is a book of fragments, and we don't have the entire book. And we also don't have all the writings, and we don't have all the writings of Ezra. There's a ton of writings in and around that we don't have, and I wish we did, because I think it'd be simply astounding if we had all of these, especially the book of Noah. Noah had a book of herbs that was probably the cures for every modern day disease that is out there. But there's also cures inside of Leviticus 11, right? Leviticus 11 gives us all of the things in our world that are food or not food. And so as we begin through the recap of the first 60 chapters of Enoch, it talks about the rebellion of the Watchers and the prophecies of judgment, the celestial secrets, and the messianic themes. And Enoch is one of these older books that it talks about our Messiah. It talks very clearly about our Messiah, Yahushua, Yeshua, as some of you guys may say. There was no J's in Hebrew. A Hebrew man's name would have never been a Greek name of Jesus. And so as we are learning the truth and as we are coming out of these deceptions, it's better to know the correct names than to, take the King James at its base. And for those who do not know, King James was a Freemason. He was a warlock. He was a wizard. He was a great corrupter of all things. And so, it's crazy the fights that people will have defending King James when it comes to the corruption of the scriptures. Now, the first 1 through 36 is called the Book of the Watchers. It's the first book. And in chapters 1 through 5, it tells us the coming judgment, a vision of Elohim's return with his host, and prophecies about the destruction of the wicked and blessings of the righteous. The earth will be restored. All creation and praise will go to Yahuwah. Chapters 6 through 11 talk about the rebellion of the Watchers. 200 of these messengers that were supposed to be watching man, that were supposed to be observing mankind, well, they got enamored with the women, right? They descended to Mount Carmel and they took on human wives. They taught the humans forbidden knowledge, sorcery, astrology, metalworking, cosmetics, all the things of evil. Born of them were 3 different generations of things: Nephilim, and Eliab. And every single generation got bigger and bigger and bigger until they could put the pyramids together like Tinker Toys, like an erector set, like Legos. That is the size of these things. Now, there were archangels, good ones, the ones who defend the throne of Elohim. We have Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, and Miguel. And they appealed to Yahuwah for intervention because of all the bloodshed that these monstrous giants have done. And these giants were eating men, they were eating animals, these things were foul to the point where it was just out of control. Now, chapters 12 through 16 is Enoch's mission. Enoch is commissioned as an intercessor and scribe. He delivers Yahuwah's judgment to the Watchers. They will be bound until the final judgment. The spirits of the Nephilim will become evil spirits, demons on the earth. Now, chapters 17 through 36 talk about Enoch's celestial journey. Enoch is taken out on a cosmic journey by the messengers. He sees the places of punishment and blessings for souls, the mountains of fire, the heavenly rivers, abysmal prisons for the fallen angels, the tree of life and the elect ones who will judge. He also sees the ends of the vision with the ends of the earth and heaven. That takes us into book 2. Book 2 begins at chapter 37, and it gives us parables, some parables that he saw. And the first parable focuses on Messiah Yahushua, our messianic figure, our Messiah, our Savior, our salvation, our King, the one who will be running the kingdom to come, the chosen one of Elohim. He will sit on the throne of glory and judge kings and the mighty. Enoch sees the head of days, the ancient of days, and the Son of Man. So he sees both Elohim Most High and he sees Yahushua. The righteous will dwell with him and the wicked will be destroyed. Inside of these first little chapters of this parable, we see the secrets of lightning, stars, thunder, winds, and the celestial order are all revealed. Now, chapters 45 through 57 talk about the second parable. It expands the theme of the Son of Man who existed before creation. It describes the final judgment, resurrection of the righteous, and punishment of sinners. The fallen angels and sinful kings will be cast into deep valleys of fire and ice. The righteous will see the face of the elect one and inherit eternal joy. Now, chapters 58 through 60 is the third parable. It talks about Enoch's birthday. It's celebrated by the angels. He is taught by angels about the secrets of the universe and the end times. And then chapter 60 contains some very interesting things about some monstrous things. The dragons, the Leviathan, which is the female monster, and the behemoth, the male land beast. And a record of the heavenly orders, winds, elements, thunder, rain, and the angels controlling them. So we know that there is a process of everything. We know that nature in of itself, the sun, moon, stars, all of this stuff obey the hand of our Creator. They're all run by things of this other realms that we can't see. And I've talked about this before, that we probably don't want to see things in this other realm. We probably only want to see the things that are here because there's things that are really, really spooky, right? There are darkness and demons and devils, and they're always trying to take out Torah keepers. If you want to become an enemy of Satan, then become a friend of Elohim. And to become a friend of Elohim, that means we start doing what is called the covenant path. We start obeying these laws, these statutes and commandments. We start walking with the Most High. And that makes us an enemy of the enemy, right? We are Satan's hated people, and that's just fine, right? We're going to run through testing. We're going to run through trials. We're going to run through tribulation. We're going to run through all of this. It's going to be a time that we need to be tested. We need to see what the hand of our Creator is able to do for us. And what He is able to do for us is He's able to protect us and to guide us and to get us from point A to point B. You see, from the moment that we were thrown into our mother's womb, we were in a testing period. We have been tested all our lives. And all of our life down to our very last breath is testing. Do we and will we serve the Most High? Or are we distracted with the world that is around us? Are we okay with the sin, living in sin, living like the world, tasting like the world, smelling like the world? Is that okay for us? Right? For my family and I, that is not okay for us. We don't want any part of this. The world is nasty. It's disgusting. It is foul. Psyop after psyop after psyop. Mind control, darkness, deprivation. And it's something that when you have the Torah, it's a breath of fresh air. It is a breath of life that blows through you, that becomes a living entity into your life. The Torah walk is an amazing walk, guys, and I encourage everybody to read your scriptures as individuals. Pray. Pray to our Creator. See what He has in store for you. See what this world is all about, because it's far more than the lies that we have all inherited. Now let's get into our reading. Chapter 61 of the book of Enoch. And here we are. Let me grab a little drink. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Chapter 61. And I saw in those days how long cords were given to those messengers. And they took to their wings and flew, and they went toward the north. And I asked the messenger, saying unto him, Why have you taken these cords and gone off? And he said to me, They have gone to measure. And the messenger who went with me said to me, These shall bring the measurements of the righteous, and the ropes of the righteous to the righteous, that they may support themselves on the name of Yahuwah of hosts forever and ever. The elect shall begin to dwell with the elect, and those are the measures which shall be given to belief and which shall strengthen righteousness. And these measures shall reveal all the secrets of the depths of the earth, and those who have been destroyed by the desert, and those who have been devoured by the beast, and those who have been devoured by the fish of the sea, that they may return and support themselves on the day of the elect one. For none shall be destroyed before Yahuwah of hosts, and none can be destroyed. And all who dwell above in the Shamayim received a command and power, and one voice, and one light like fire. And their first words they barak, and exalted and lifted up with wisdom, and they were wise in utterance and in the spirit of Kai. And Yahuwah of hosts placed the elect one on the throne of esteem, and he shall judge all the works of the Kodesh above in the Shamaim, and in the balance shall their deeds be weighed. And then he shall lift up his face to judge their secret ways according to the word of the name of Yahuwah of hosts, and their path according to the way of the righteous judgment of Yahuwah of hosts. Then they shall all with one voice speak and barak and bless and esteem and exalt and kadosh the name of Yahuwah of hosts. And he will summon all the hosts of the Shamaim, and all the Kodeshim above, and the host of the Elohim, the cherubim, the seraphim, and the Ephraim, and all the messengers of power, and all the messengers of principalities, and the elect one, and the other powers of the earth and over the water. On that day shall they raise one voice, and barak, and esteem, and exalt in the spirit of belief, and in the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit of patience, and in the spirit of favor, and in the spirit of judgment, and of peace, and in the spirit of goodness, and shall all say with one voice, Baruch is he. And may the name of Yahuwah of hosts be Baruch forever and ever. All who do not sleep in the Shamaim above shall barak him. All the Kodeshim who are in the Shamaim shall barak him, and all the elect who dwell in the garden of Kai, and every spirit of light who is able to barak, and esteem, and exalt, and Kodesh your Baruch name. And all flesh shall beyond measure esteem and barak your name forever and ever. For great is the favor of Yahuwah of hosts, and he is patient, and all his works and all he has created, he has revealed to the righteous and elect in the name of Yahuwah of hosts. And thus Yahuwah commanded the sovereigns and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth, and said, Open your eyes and lift up your horns if you are able to recognize the elect one. And Yahuwah of hosts seated him on the throne of his esteem, and the spirit of righteousness was poured out upon him, and the word of his mouth slays all the sinners, and all the unrighteous are destroyed from the face of the earth. So we have our Creator throwing his Son up onto his throne and letting him judge in strength and victory. And there shall stand up in that day all the sovereigns and the mighty and the exalted, and those who hold the earth. And they shall see and recognize how he sits on the throne of his esteem, and righteousness is rightly ruled before him, and no lying word is spoken before him. Then pain shall come upon them as on a woman in travail, when her child enters the mouth of the womb, and she has pain in bringing forth. And one portion of them shall look on the other, and they shall be terrified, and they shall be sad-faced, and the pain shall seize them, when they see the Son, the Ben of Edom, sitting on the throne of his esteem. And the sovereigns and the mighty and all who possess the earth shall barak, and esteem and exalt him who rules over all, who was hidden. For from the beginning the Ben of Edom was hidden, and the Most High preserved him in the presence of his might, and revealed him to the elect. And the congregation of the elect in Kodesh shall be shown, and all the elect shall stand before him on that day. And all the sovereigns and the mighty and the exalted and those who rule the earth shall fall down before him on their faces and worship and place their expectancy upon the Ben of Edom and petition him and make supplication for compassion at his hands. Nevertheless, that Adon of hosts will so press them that they shall hastily go forth from his presence, and their faces shall be filled with shame, and the darkness grow deeper on their faces. What we're hearing about, guys, is we're hearing about judgment. We're hearing about terror. We are hearing about the end times when our Messiah comes back. And he's not coming in the loving form that he came the very first time. He's coming as a war machine. He is coming as a Messiah of war. He is there for salvation for all of the people that have chosen his Father, people that have chosen him. And you can't have Messiah Yahushua without being an obedient people to the Father. If you don't know what the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator are, Messiah Yahushua will say, "Depart from me, I don't know you." Right? It's going to be a two-way street. You're not going to know what the Creator wants, and the Messiah is not going to take you along. We have a shot right now in this world that we can seek our Creator and become these loyal people. But when it's time, when the game is on, we won't have this opportunity anymore. And we're only going to be living in terror, in shame, and being upset. And he will deliver them to the messengers for punishment, to execute vengeance on them, because they have oppressed his children and his elect. And they shall be a spectacle for the righteous and for his elect. They shall rejoice over them, because the wrath of Yahuwah of hosts rested upon them, and his sword is drunk with their blood. And the righteous and elect shall be saved on that day, and they shall never thereafter see the face of the sinners and unrighteous. Where do they go, right? They go to judgment, a place of terror, a place we don't want to go, right? Who is it that goes there? Face of sinners, the face of the unrighteous. How do we become a sinner? We become a sinner by violating the laws of our Creator. How do we become unrighteous? By not caring about the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And Yahuwah of hosts will abide over them. And with the son of Adam, the bin of Adam, they shall eat and lie down and rise up forever and ever. And the righteous and elect shall have risen from the earth and cease to be sad-faced. And they shall have been clothed with garments of esteem. And they shall be the garments of Kai, of life, from Yahuwah of hosts. And your garments shall not grow old, nor your esteem pass away before Yahuwah of hosts. There's so many, I was talking to a brother yesterday, and we had a good conversation, and he was talking about scriptures prove scriptures, right? And we hear in the book of Revelation about these white garments, about the elect, the people who have made it, have made the right choice, and have gone in this world and have sought our Creator and his ways. And there's garments of life, there's a white outfit, there's a suit that we get, and it's going to be incredible, because we know from other scriptures that during judgment we are standing before our Creator naked. We are having every unclean word, unclean deed, unclean thought, everything that we have done in this world, that in the book of the Nazarene, it says our lives are like a pebble into a lake, a very clear lake. And when you throw that pebble in there and you have all these ripples, and these ripples roll across the lake, every ripple, whether it be good or it be bad, of the world that we have affected, are going to be part of our day of judgment. And this is why we need to have soft hearts, clean hands, clean minds, clean souls. We need to make sure that our walk is a Kodesh walk, a walk of holiness. 63. In those days, the mighty and the sovereigns who possess the earth shall beg to grant them a little relief from his messengers of punishment, to whom they were delivered, that they might fall down and worship before Yahuwah of hosts, and confess their sins before him. And they shall barak and esteem Yahuwah of hosts, and say, Barak is Yahuwah of hosts, and Yahuwah of sovereigns, and Yahuwah of the mighty, and Yahuwah of the rich, and Yahuwah of esteem, and Yahuwah of wisdom. And splendid in every secret matter is your power from generation to generation, and your esteem forever and ever. Deep are all your secrets and innumerable, and your righteousness is beyond reckoning. We have now learned that we should esteem and barak Yahuwah of hosts, and him who is sovereign over all sovereigns. And they shall say, oh, that we had rest to esteem and give thanks and confess our belief before his esteem. And now we long for a little rest, but we do not find it. We follow hard upon and do not obtain. And light has vanished from before us, and darkness is our dwelling place forever and ever. For we have not believed before him, nor esteemed the name of Yahuwah of hosts, but our expectancy was in the scepter of our reign and in our esteem. Guys, this is where, you look at religious systems. You look at the Christian religion. You can't lose salvation according to the Christians, right? Once saved, always saved. That's one of their mottos. People will fall to their graves thinking they cannot be plucked out of the hand of our Creator, when it is very clear that our Creator and his Son deny a lot of people. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, right? We have been given good instructions. We have been given great knowledge. We have been given the Torah. If you're reading this with me, and if you've ever even read a scriptures, whether it's the corrupt king or whether it's the corrupt Sefer, it still has the right laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, right? That's what it's all about. They do get a lot of stuff wrong. But if you're seeking our Creator and hoping that it will be found, it's in His Scriptures. And this is the day and age we're all learned. We all know how to read. We all have gone through school and we know our consonants and vowels, and we can put words together, and we can read, most of us, right? And if you can't read, there's a lot of audiobooks out there, a tremendous amount. So it is in this set of reading, in this set of doctrine, that we learn the heart, mind, and soul of our Creator and how He wants us to operate. And so don't think that we can just live our best life now and you're going to have this chance right before you take your last breath, because nobody knows when that bus is going to smash you. Nobody knows when that piano is going to drop out of the sky, or when you're going to have your last heartbeat, right? We're living in the age of people dying really young nowadays. It's really young. And I don't even have to get into that. Those with eyes to see and ears to hear know exactly why. Let's continue on. And in the day of our suffering and tribulation, He does not save us. And we find no relief for confession that our add-on is true in all His works. And in His right rulings and His justice and His right rulings have no respect of persons. And we pass away from before His face on account of our works. And all our sins are reckoned up in righteousness. Now they shall say unto themselves, our beings are full of unrighteous gain. But it does not prevent us from descending from the midst thereof into the burden of Gehenna. And after that their faces shall be filled with darkness and shame before the Ben of Edom, and they shall be driven from His presence. And the sword shall abide before His face in their midst. Thus Yahuwah of hosts, thus spoke Yahuwah of hosts. This is the statute and judgment with respect to the mighty, and the sovereigns, and the exalted, and those who possess the earth before Yahuwah of hosts. All these politicians, all these people that own this and own that, they're not going to own anything. When it's all said and done, if we are not on the side of our Creator, then we are siding with Satan by default. And a lot of people don't understand that. And there's a tremendous amount of good people in all these religious systems, right? You see these little old ladies, and they're really nice, and they have big hearts, and they're feeding the poor, and they're doing all this stuff. But yet, at the end of the day, they, especially in Catholicism, they've never said a prayer of repentance, right? Their penance goes to Mary. Their penance goes to a little man in a box who has them rub their rosary beads and say 7 Hail Marys, right? They don't understand that when you are praying to somebody other than Elohim Most High, when you're not praying to Yahuwah, where do your prayers go? Who hears these? Do they go anywhere? Is it just falling on deaf ears? We have to get right with our Creator and with His ways. 64. And other forms I saw hidden in that place. I heard the voice of a messenger saying, these are the messengers who descended to the earth and revealed what was hidden to the children of men, and seduced the children of men into committing sin. Woe to be these messengers. They should have never, ever been born. And in those days Noah saw the earth, that it had sunk down, and its destruction was near. Now, we're just popping the book of Enoch. You can always count on something strange happening in this book. And we just popped into, it went from Enoch and it went into Noah. And so here we are. And, this is pre-flood days as well when Enoch's talking, right? We're at the edge of humanity being lost in terms of great evil being destroyed. So in those days, Noah saw that the earth had sunk down and its destruction was near. And he arose from there and went to the ends of the earth and cried aloud to his grandfather Canak. And Noah said 3 times with an embittered voice, hear me, hear me, hear me. And I said to him, tell me what it is that is falling out of the earth, that the earth is in such evil plight and shaken, if perhaps I shall perish with it. And after that there was a great commotion on the earth, and a voice was heard from the Shamaim, and I fell on my face. And Canak, my grandfather, came and stood by me and said to me, why have you cried unto me with a bitter cry and weeping? And a command has gone forth from the presence of Yahuwah concerning those who dwell on the earth, that their ruin is accomplished because they have learned all the secrets of the messengers and all the violence of the adversaries and all their powers. the most secret ones, and all the power of those who practice sorcery, and the power of witchcraft, and the power of those who make molten images for the whole earth. And how silver is produced from the dust of the earth, and how soft metal originates in the earth. For lead and tin are not produced from the earth like the first. It is a fountain that produces them, and a messenger stands therein, and that messenger is the head. And after that, my grandfather Canuck took hold of me by the hand and raised me up and said to me, Go, for I have asked Yahuwah of hosts regarding this commotion on the earth. And he said to me, Because of their unrighteousness, their judgment has been determined upon, and shall not be withheld by me forever. Because of the sorceries which they have searched out and learned, the earth and those who dwell upon it shall be destroyed. Now, this is an interesting time, right? But if you look at the world we are in today, and you look at Big Pharma, these guys are sorcerers, right? That's the job of Big Pharma, is sorcery, alchemy, putting it all together, putting together the things of whatever it is. And, you might take an antidepressant pill and you'll end up feeling suicidal, feeling far worse. People take these pills all the time. They end up dead. People take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, mix it together, and they dead. And so here we are in a world that they may have had some sorceries back in those days, but how many different pharmaceutical companies do we have today? You go to any doctor for anything, and instead of them saying fast, lose some weight, get some exercise, take some rest, they'll give you a pill. They got a pill for sleeping. They got a pill for your problems. They got a pill for hearts and lungs and blood thinners and all this other stuff. It's a nonstop, right? There's pills for pills. Oh, you got side effects of this. And they're not really side effects, right? They're effects. The pills are doing what they were intended to do, and you have effects. You can call them side effects because they mess with you in a funny way. But one of the main things, and one of the reasons I am not okay subjecting myself into the white coats is, for me, myself, I have diabetes type 2. It is something that I absolutely did to myself, where I destroyed my temple, where I wasn't good to my system, where I took things way too far. I have a carbohydrate overload, and now my body's sick. And the answer by the doctors was you're going to die in under a year. And if you don't start jamming insulin right now, you have less than 5 years to live even at that. So, as I sit here talking to you guys, my tummy's grumbling. I'm on day 4.5 right now of a water-only fast. I got another 6 or 7 hours before I hit day 5. And it is very uncomfortable. It is, I didn't even know if I was going to do this reading today, but you know what? When I'm doing fasting, I feel like I'm doing time. I really feel like I'm locked in a jail cell and the key has been thrown away. And the finer things of life is food, right? That's why we have taste buds on our tongue. That's why we have the ability to feel full, why we can sleep better at night. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm doing these fasts, I've heard that people are like, man, my sleep is really, really, really good. Guys, the other night, I was eating peanut butter and chocolate chips in my sleep. I was just sitting there mowing down. I've had these dreams that I went into like a Costco, and I'm just sitting there just pounding down this ice cream. It's one of these things that you can see your addictions and the level of addictions that you have based upon your dreams. And I don't think I sleep well. I really don't. And Miss Nicole, my wife, she is on. I'm heading into day 5. She is going into day 4. Cade, my son, he is on the same day as I am, so we're on day 4.5 right now, and it makes the days long. But I'm not dealing with the sorceries, right? I'm not okay. Burning my liver up for trying to get my blood sugar down, and that's the thing with all these pills is that you're only covering stuff up. Like my mom's like, oh, you need to take metformin. And she's like, that's what my stepdad has taken all his life, and he doesn't have high blood sugar. Yeah, but he's still sick, right? You can eat whatever you want to eat because you have pills that control your blood sugar, but you're still very, very sick inside. You have insulin resistance, and it's not fixing anything. And so the answer to the world's sicknesses that we have all fallen into based upon the things that we have eaten and our lifestyles is fasting. And I will go to my grave fasting. And even when I go to my grave, I will probably encourage everybody in the Shamayim, if I make it, that we should all be fasting, because I think it's something that is overlooked by a lot of people, which is why I'm always encouraging all of you guys to start. Excuse me, I get real tired too. I'll sleep well and I get real tired. So let's continue on here. You've heard enough of my problems. I'm trying not to be a Pharisee. I'm trying to be as upbeat and positive as I possibly can, and I'm not trying to bring any of you guys down, which is why you probably won't hear from me for the rest of this week. Probably until Shabbat, and hopefully by then, or maybe by then, I've eaten. We'll see. 11. And these, the people, right, the sinners, they have no place of repentance forever, the giants, because they have shown them what was hidden, and they are the condemned. But as for you, my son, Yahuwah of hosts knows that you are pure and guiltless of this reproach concerning the secrets. And he has destined your name to be among the Kodesh, and will preserve you amongst those who dwell on the earth, and has destined your righteous seed both for sovereignty and for great honors. And from your seed shall proceed a fountain of righteous and Kodesh without number forever. Great news for Noach, right? Great news for that guy. Absolutely. And after that, he showed me the messengers of punishment who are prepared to come and let loose all the powers of the waters which are beneath in the earth, in order to bring judgment and destruction on all who dwell in the earth. Now, I've talked about this before. The Enoch is a very flat earth book, right? There's a reason they ripped it out, because the powers that be sucked down, just in the United States alone, $60 million a day, pretending that they're firing, rockets off. You got Jeff Bezos, and you got all these fake satellites and all these things. And, for anybody that just wants a quick reality check, go look around your neighborhood to everybody that has a dish network, somebody that has a satellite. They're all facing the exact same direction. It's the exact same pinpoint. I used to install Dish Network and DirecTV all the time. It is a centimeter left, right, up, or down, and you are off on that exact coordinate that you're bouncing off the dome, and you lose connection. That's why a tree branch falls and knocks your dish off and you don't have TV, right? Not that you should be watching TV anyway, but I'm telling you, we are on a stationary plane, and the dome, the firmament, which is what Scriptures has said we have, is what it is. And why do they lie to us? Why do they cheat us? Why is all this? Well, because if you knew that your creator was simply outside of our little terranium looking in and the earth was his footstool, it might be a little different than thinking that there's billions of little earths all over the place with all these little aliens and we're just some non-meaning life form, right? Humanity is the life shot of our creator. It's what he's watching right now. He's watching the devils and demons and darkness and everything. This is his, in some cases, a sitcom for him. In some cases, very, very stressful, very dramatic. I would not want to be our creator. I would not have the patience. Everybody would be like little smokes of fire and it would be over. It'd be game over. So let's not be deceived. Let's open our eyes and open our ears. And that's a tough one. I don't even like discussing the flat earth and ball earth, because ball earth is like a religion, right? You grew up in a classroom, you have the ball earth spinning around, and sometimes it seems that the older people are the more indoctrinated and the lesser the ability they have to do this. And that indoctrination goes into religion. When you try to tell people about the laws, the statutes, the commandments of our creator, and they get angry at you, they want to attack you, they want to violently tell you what's up and what's not up. And all you can do is just, be kind, be gentle, and be that laughing stock of the, comedy club. Because, Messiah says if they hate us, it's because they hated him, right? And before they hated him, they hated his dad. Because when you don't love the Torah, by default, you hate the creator. You can't say you love our creator, Elohim Most High, those who call him God. You can't say you love him, but you don't even respect his words. You don't even know what he says, right? That's an oxymoron to say that, oh, I love him with all my heart, when in your heart doesn't even have the Torah, when your mind doesn't even know the Torah, when you can't even recite 25, 30 commandments when we only have 158, right? If you can't recite 25 or 30 commandments, you're doing yourself a disjustice, because Satan's going to come along and he's going to get you. He's going to tempt you, and you're not having the defense and the armament and the shields and the sword of the Torah to fight. That's what it is to fight these principalities of darkness. You fight them with the word of our Creator, knowing right from wrong, knowing iniquity and what iniquity is not. We don't want to hear this word, depart from me, you who are lawless. 2, and Yahuwah of hosts gave command to the messengers who were going forth, that they should not cause the waters to rise, but should hold them in check. For those messengers were over the powers of the waters. And I went away from the presence of Canak. Continuing on, 67, and in those days the word of Elohim came unto me, and he said to me, Noach, your lot has come up before me, a lot without blame, a lot of love and of brightness. What beautiful words to hear, right? Can you imagine hearing this out of the words of our Creator? Having our Creator proud that we have served him. Having him so proud of us that he's glad that he made us. That's what we're after. And now the messengers are making a wooden object. And when they have completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it. And there shall come forth from it the seed of life. And a change shall come forth, so that the earth will not remain without inhabitant. And I will establish your seed before me forever and ever. And I will spread abroad those who dwell with you. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be Baruch, and multiply on the earth in the name of Yahuwah. And he will imprison those messengers who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Canak had formerly shown to me in the west, among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great earthquake and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal and from the earthquake in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur. And it was connected with those waters, and that valley of the messengers who had led astray burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these messengers are punished, who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the sovereigns and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth, for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now, their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied Yahuwah of hosts, and see their punishment daily, and yet do not believe in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before Yahuwah of hosts, none shall utter an idle word. Wow, that's tough, right? We live in this Haley, weird, bad world TV show stuff. You can't see these things. You know, I realize that our Creator's name isn't God, but these people use it as a swear word, right? It's like you would use your mother's name as a swear word. Who would do that, right? Who would absolutely do such a disrespectful thing? But everybody's like, OM, beep, you know, and they say that even though Messiah's name isn't Jesus, they're like, JC, blah, 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 right? It's disrespectful. It is disrespectful that our names and our precious name of salvation has become an utterance of a swear word upon people's lips. 10, for the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the spirit, the ruach of Yahuwah. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days. For when those messengers are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature. And when the messengers ascend, this water of the spring shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering and saying, this judgment with which the messengers are judged is a witness for the sovereigns and the mighty who possess the earth. Because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the sovereigns and the lust of their body. Therefore, they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. Now, let's roll one more, because I'm sure we're there. Actually, let's not. Let's stop at 67. So, guys, this has all been about a place we want to be and a place we don't want to be, right? We want to be counted among the righteous. There's no other place in scriptures that has this Romans road to Christ that the Christians will sell you. This once saved, always saved doesn't exist in scriptures. I will tell you from literally writing this book, the entire book, all 103, and proofreading chapter after chapter after chapter over and over and over and over again, to where we believe we have a very good set of scriptures. All of this hocus pocus, magical Christian religious system, it does not hold a bit of weight when it comes to what the scriptures say. So if we want to be the children of the Most High, if we want to be the set apart remnant, those ones who are a drop of water compared to a wave, the path is the scriptures. The path is the first 5 books of scriptures. That is where it begins. That is our foundational standpoint of life. It's not religious systems. It's not the men that are teaching in a pulpit on the wrong day. It is the way of our Creator. And so, guys, I hope to see you guys in the kingdom to come. I truly hope we can all embrace and give big old bear hugs and high fives and congratulate each other and be in a world where the darkness isn't what it is today. And so that is the world that I yearn for. That is the world that I pray for all of you guys, that you guys will find and that you guys will seek and that you guys will give every last bit of your heart, mind, and soul. Those men out there who will align their families to the truth, that we are able to be a part of the kingdom to come. So with that, I love you all. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful week. If I don't talk to you guys again before Shabbat, we have Shabbat at 11 Central Time, 11 a.m. on Shabbat, which is a Saturday, which is, all the names of the weeks are named after these pagan gods, deities, names of the months as well. Sick world we live in. The Creator has no month of names. It's first month, second month, third month, fourth month, just like that. So with that, everybody, I love y'all. Much love. Shalom, shalom, shalom.